Hey y'all, follow along with me today as I make some sourdough pizza and focaccia for sandwiches later on this week. So actually this was a couple of days before I filmed the pizza recipe. I'm just going to work on making my sourdough pizza and sourdough focaccia dough. I'm just taking out some sourdough out of my starter and enjoying my dandelion root tea because it's amazing. Just weighing my ingredients one at a time. And then I like to just sort of mix my sourdough with my water, or my sourdough starter with my water. Now I'm gonna just mill my flour. I've recently stopped using all-purpose flour and tried to switch completely to 100% freshly milled flour, and this is actually Coruscant wheat. And the reason I'm doing this is because I'm just super sensitive to all-purpose flour and I tolerate this a lot better. So I will link the recipe below, but just be forewarned that when I used this recipe, on one of the doughs I didn't add as much flour, and on the other dough I added more. So one of the doughs came out okay and the other one came out really dry. But with all-purpose flour, I've never had an issue with this recipe and I love it. And here's the focaccia dough. So I think just be more aware of how much liquid you're putting in. I think I'm gonna try more liquid next time. Just making a wetter dough I think will be a little bit better. So now this is a couple days in the future. So I'm going to just go ahead and get started on making the pizza sauce. I'm using organic crushed tomatoes from a can, and it's just my favorite method of doing that. Unless I have like my own fresh tomatoes, then I'll make my own sauce, but I do like using a can for this. So I'm just going to put the crushed tomatoes in the pot, and I put in there, I don't show this on here, but I do put in a small carrot and a little bit of either green or red pepper, whatever I have on hand, and I let that simmer. And I'm getting ready to take out my sourdough, and you're gonna see exactly what I mean about the dough. It was just way too dry. One of them was okay, and then one of them was way too dry. You'll see. I think this is the dry one. And at this point, like, I can already tell it's gonna be too dry to work with, so yeah, there it is. Look at how firm it was. It just was not what I wanted. At this point, I went ahead and covered it with a cloth to try to make it, you know, a little bit more room temperature. I thought that maybe that would help with the firmness. So I'm gonna go ahead and start grating my cheese for my pizza, and this is just raw American or raw cheddar cheese from Azure Standard. And I'm gonna cut up my tomatoes. Going to go ahead and pick off some basil, and I'm making a basil chiffonade. It's one of my favorite ways to use basil on pizza and on sandwiches and anything else. You basically stack it and then roll it up, and then you just make slices in it. I'm just going to cut up another tomato. This was, I cut them into quarters and then I cut them into slices because I wanted to use them for the focaccia. I was planning on doing like tulip flowers with them, if you could picture that. And I did end up making focaccia with it. The focaccia just was, you know, I used that dry dough and so it was not, it wasn't great. My husband loved it though. He said it tasted great still, just wasn't like the texture that I wanted it to be. So we're gonna try that again in the future. Just cutting up a red onion. When I'm eating raw onion or onion that's really on the top of anything as far as pizza goes, I really prefer red onion. I just think it has a better flavor, maybe not as strong as a white onion. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's just how I feel. So cutting up a green bell pepper for the focaccia, and I end up using some for the pizza as well. I'm going ahead and getting that bitter inside layer off, and then I just slice it. And this is just pre-sliced mozzarella, because one thing I hate doing is slicing mozzarella. I don't know about anybody else, but I really don't like doing that. So I'm just gonna clean up my workspace so that I can get the pizza started. And this is the point when I really start to realize the dough is just not going to work. You'll see. I'm just kneading it and oh yeah, it just cracked right open. Not good at all. Unworkable. So I put it off to the side and I just decided to use this one for the pizza since that's what we were eating for dinner that night. It was originally supposed to be for the focaccia, but that's okay. It worked out perfect. I just cut it into threes because I decided we were just gonna do 3 smaller pizzas this night, and it ended up being plenty of pizza. So I'm just checking the dough, ended up being good. It was still a little bit, it just didn't have the gluten development that I wanted. So I'm going to be working on that a little bit more in the future, testing out some recipes and some methods to try and get that gluten development. I may need to get a different kind of wheat berry. Letting that rest. And here is my sauce bubbling away. We're gonna get started on the pizza. So I just flour my parchment paper and then I roll that out. Put the sauce and some olive oil on there and then I just top it. This one is going to be cheese pizza. So I put some of the cheddar cheese that I have and some mozzarella on the top. Okay, and now I'm going to just go ahead and put that in the oven. I like to get one in the oven and then start making the next one. And that's kind of just my flow for pizza. So now I'm working on the veggie one. I did cheese and sauce the same way, and then I just added veggies as I wanted them, and then some mozzarella on the top. And salt and pepper, of course. Now this is the margarita pizza. This is my favorite, my personal favorite. I just love the taste of basil and tomato and mozzarella all together. It's one of my favorites, but go ahead and get that going there. So just giving a little update while I clean up the kitchen. The focaccia, it's a no-go. I'm currently trying to salvage it. Probably not going to happen. It was just super, I want to say dry, but like kind of just dense, and it was just falling apart. There's like no gluten development at all in it. The dough just breaks apart. So I'm gonna see if there's something I can do with it so I don't waste the dough. I'll let y'all know if I find anything that I can do with that. Maybe like, I don't know, dumplings or crackers or something like that. I don't know. But I just wanted to give an update on that. So maybe next time I come on here, I will have a working focaccia recipe. I think my problem is when I use freshly milled flour for my sourdough, and it's like just 100% freshly milled. Oh, I have to get that. Hold on one second. Anyway, I think that my problem is that when I use 100% freshly milled flour with my sourdough recipes, I'm not developing the gluten enough with stretch and folds. So, and especially because I'm using kamut or Coruscant wheat berries, and I'm pretty sure that the gluten content in that is low anyway. So we're gonna try next time. I'm going to do like an absurd amount of stretch and folds and maybe increase my bulk ferment time by a bit. I'm going to test out different things and we'll see. Maybe I'll bring you all along with me. So like and subscribe for that. Okay, bye. Here is the finished pizza. I hope y'all enjoyed following with me. I can't wait to come back and see you again.